Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie Colours. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am back with another page from our full book colour along in RJ Hampson's gorgeous book Awake. I believe this is page 18 and this one is called Love at First Sight. It is very cute. I am just going to keep this really simple. I'm not going to do anything in this background. I did consider it, but I decided I'm just going to leave it as is and just do this kind of border. This whole series is all about keeping things sweet and simple and just, yeah, quick, easy colouring. So I decided the background wasn't really needed. Right, I have my alcohol markers here beside me and I am going to start with my cat here. So I am using, pull them out, YR8, YR7 and YR107 to do my cat. I'm going to obviously do him a kind of orange stripy cat. I got the wrong end of that marker. So RJ Hampson did do this page on his channel, I saw, and obviously did an absolute wonderful job because he's the artist. And I haven't looked at it for a while. I watched the video when he first did it, which was quite a while ago now. And I haven't watched it since, mostly because I don't want to be too influenced by what he's done. I want to try and keep it a little bit different if I can. However, I do feel like he did an orange kind of stripy cat, so our cats may end up slightly similar. But do go out and check his channel as well, because he always does fun stuff on his channel and does some fun colouring and illustrations, and you know, obviously does the illustrations because he does the books, but he does some fun colouring as well, and it's always good to see the artist's interpretation of the page. So do go and check that out. So I'm just going to keep this super simple and just kind of do a little bit of darker colour around the edge of my cat, and then kind of go lighter towards the middle. I'll do a little bit under his he's got these kind of big eyes. I'll do a little bit under there and a little bit under his nose and mouth here as well. And then I'll shade out with my next color, which is YR7. I've got the wrong end of that as well. So these markers come from the skin tone set. That's what I want to call it, the skin tone marker set. So these ones are a little bit different from the other ones that I have. So the ones that come from the skin tone set, they have a brush end and then they have like a bullet nib end. Whereas the other ones I have a brush end and a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a chisel tipped end, a broader end. Does that make sense? I think that's what you call it. So these ones are a slightly different, but they're all, you know, the same kind of alcohol markers, so they all work well together. So I hope you are all keeping well. We are in the run-up to the Christmas season, the festive season, and oh my goodness, this year is flying by, and I feel like the end of this year is just going super fast. I can't quite keep up with it. Yeah, it's been hectic. What have I been doing lately? So it was Formula One weekend in Abu Dhabi this weekend. I don't know if any of you watch Formula One. I'm not a particular follower of Formula One, although I did get into watching the Netflix series Drive to Survive, which I thought was really, really good. And I kind of got to know the drivers, all the different, you know, characters there were through that, and I have enjoyed watching it. But we didn't go and watch the Grand Prix, although we could definitely hear it from where we live. We're quite close to the F1 track, and there were lots of helicopters buzzing around all weekend, and just traffic everywhere. It was kind of crazy. Lots of people over visiting for Formula One, which is really cool. My daughter and I did get tickets to one of the after race concerts. So Muse was playing last night, which was really, really cool. I confess that I'm not like a huge Muse fan. I don't know many of their songs. I know a few. I did recognize a couple of them. Mostly, I dread to say this, but the one from the Twilight movies, if any of you know. But we went along and watched them last night, which was really, really cool. It's always good to go out and see a live concert, and they were an amazing live band. They were really, really good performers, and just really talented. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, race weekend in Abu Dhabi is always good fun. It's always just lots and lots of people around, lots of excitement going on. And as I say, because we live quite close to the Grand Prix track, we do hear a lot of what's happening and definitely hear the noise from the engines and the cars, which is always good fun. So we had a lot of fun this weekend, although I tend to try and avoid the area around the circuit because the traffic is nuts, absolutely nuts. So last night when we went across to this concert, the drive took us an hour, and it would normally take about 10 minutes. So yeah, the traffic was just kind of chock-a-block. And you have to go through a tunnel. So Yas Island is where the Formula One track is. And there is a tunnel that goes across underneath the water onto Yas Island. And it was just literally bumper to bumper traffic all the way through all 3 lanes. There's 3 lanes through that tunnel, and it was just absolutely chock-a-block. So yeah, traffic is not so, that's not such a good part of it, but overall it was a lot of fun. Okay, I get really annoyed because I keep forgetting that this black ink smears a little bit when I go over with my alcohol markers, but it's okay. We're not stressing about it. Okay, for his stripes, I have, and I'm going to remember which one is the darker one. I have E060 and YR5. Now, E060 is the darker marker. I'll just make sure I've got the brush hands for these. So I'll just add a little bit of that darker marker along the top and around the sides, and then I'll blend out with the other marker. He's such a cute cat. Quite a chubby cat, isn't he? I'm not quite sure. I mean, the picture is called Love at First Sight. I'm hoping he actually does love the bird and doesn't look at him like a tasty meal, which would be a bit freaky. But yeah, I do love RJ Hampson's artwork. He has got such a humorous style about him, and I think he's so fun. So yeah. I feel like I'm not quite on my game today, so I feel like my page is probably not working out quite as good as I would have hoped, but it's okay. It's all fun. I've really been enjoying seeing your pages that you've been colouring. It's so good to see everybody else's colourings. Some people are, like I say, following on with me and doing the exact same colours as me. Other people are adding their own twists to everything. It's all good, and I'm loving it. Loving seeing everybody else's pages. Loving seeing this book fill up. It's really not, well, it hasn't seemed to take too long so far. I feel like it's kind of come along nicely, which is good. Okay, for the lighter parts, I'm going to use these 2 colours, and again I have to remind myself which one is the darker one and which one is the lighter one, because I pulled them out and now I've forgotten, and it's hard to tell because the lids look very, very similar. So I've got E090 and YR110. So YR110 is the slightly darker marker and E090 is the lighter one. So we'll start with the darker one. And it's not particularly dark. I'm saying darker. It's not like it's really, really dark. It's just a little bit darker. And we'll just add some all around the edges. Like I say, this page I'm keeping super duper simple today. Nothing too strenuous or stressful. I mean, none of these pages are strenuous or stressful or difficult in any way, shape or form. But today I'm keeping it ultra easy. Okay, blend that out, and then I will go back in with that darker one and just blend it out a little bit, just add a little bit more shading around the edges. Not blend it out, I want to add just a touch more darkness because they are very pale colours. I'm going to add a little bit to his nose here and a bit to his tongue as well. I know we could do that pink, but I'm going to do it these kind of softer peachy colours. I hate that black ink is smearing so much. And then just to the tip of his tail as well. And there we go. He's not perfect today. I haven't blended this out very well. Do I go back in and try and blend it a bit better? Let's try. Let's go back in with that kind of mid-tone and see if we can't smooth it out just a little bit. I don't want it to look like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to smooth it out slightly because I feel like it's not looking quite so good as I would have liked, especially around that bit. So I'll just go in with the lightest marker as well and just blend that out a bit more and see if we can't get it looking a slightly better. Like I say, that black ink is smearing quite a lot, which is a shame, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, I'm gonna go in with that, let's see, the YR110, and I'm just gonna try and add a touch of a little bit of a cheek in here, a bit of a kind of rosy looking cheek. This is a lot lighter, so it will kind of bleach the color out, but that's okay. It will give the impression of a little bit of a rosy cheek to him. Okay, and his ears I haven't done. I'll do the inside of his ears in this lighter color as well. And that's pretty much him. I think what I'm gonna do, just to kind of brighten up those cheeks a little bit, I'm gonna grab another marker out. This one is gonna be a little bit darker. Let's try, I'll try that one. Sorry, I feel like I'm a bit underprepared today. Let's try this one. So YR205, which is called Powdery Orange, and I'm just gonna go over his cheeks a little bit there and add a little touch to his nose. It's just slightly darker. I think that's gonna be okay. I'm gonna add some white highlight to that as well. Okay, so there's our little cat done. Let's move on to our bird. So for the bird, I'm going to use a couple of reds. So I've got R6 and R160. So I'm just going to do his head in these colours. So I'm going to start with the R6, which is the darker marker. And it's almost like a cherry pinkish red, this colour. I really like it. It's a nice, bold, vibrant, vivid colour. And I'm going to blend it out with the 160. So again, just on his head, I'm going to do this heart while I've got this marker out. And just add a little bit more shading to it. A little bit of shading to the heart. Okay, for the rest of the bird, I'm going to go with blues. So I have PB8, PB7, and B050. So PB8 being the darkest, I'll start with that. And again, I'm just being quite, rough and ready with this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just adding a little bit of shading to the areas. This bit on the bird is quite fine, so we don't need to stress too much about getting it perfect. Go in with the mid-tone. I just thought I'd do some nice bright colours on this as well. Keep it looking kind of fun. And then with my lightest marker to blend it all out. I might just add a little bit more of that darkest marker to really highlight those feathers as much as possible. Anyway, it's a little bit fine with an alcohol marker. A little bit around there. There we go, that'll do. And then let's do his wings in the same colour combination. I tend just to kind of follow the lines of the artist that the artist has already put in there, just to make life easy. I don't know what kind of bird he is. He's not like any bird I've ever seen in real life, but that's okay because we're in cartoon world here, imaginary world. Oh, sorry if you can hear the noise. There's some noise going on outside. Every time I start filming, there's a bit of noise going on. That's okay. And a little bit on his little crest here, and that's it for the bird. I've got his beak to do, so I'm going to go in with those same kind of orangey colours that I used for my bird here. I might bring in that. So they've got the, I'll stick with these ones. So YR110 and E090. Just to keep it all kind of the same. Not add too many differences. You could go with a different color combination, but I think this works. Okay. What else? Right, let's start on this border. So I've got some grays here. I've got the little mouse here and the little skull. So I've got CG2 and CG200, and I'm going to use these for the little mouse. I'm going to have a gray mouse here. It's very, very cute. Super duper simple colouring with this. While we've got these out, I'm just going to add a touch of grey to my skull here. Just a little bit, just to kind of emphasise the outline of that. I don't want to colour it all in grey because I want it to look white, but just to kind of make it pop a little bit. Then I'm going to use that E090 for his tail. It's a tiny little area, so just be careful. His ear and his nose, and I'm just going to add a little bit of a cheek to him as well. Then what have I got left? Lots of leaves and this butterfly. So I might do the butterfly in the same reds and blues that I did with the bird, just to pull that over there. So let's start with this R6. Now, reds do have a tendency to bleed more than other colours. So in these fine areas, you have to be a little bit careful because they will have a tendency to bleed out. So just be aware of that as you're adding this, and just kind of use the very, very tip of the marker because this is quite a small little area that we're colouring. And despite being careful, I'm still managing to go outside of the lines, but I don't think it's too noticeable. Okay, I'm going to use the blue for the butterfly's wings, so the PB7, PB8 and B050 that we used on the bird. As you know, if you've watched any of these videos, you know that I like to pull the same colours throughout the page and just keep it fairly limited so that it's not completely overwhelming. Like I say, these pages are meant to be sweet and simple and quick to colour, so we want to make our life as easy as possible. Finish up with the lightest colour. Okay, for the butterfly's body, I'm going to do the darker colours that I used for the cat's stripes. I've got E060 and YR5, and I'll use these to colour in the butterfly's body. I can't remember which colour was which, and I feel like I've just gone and made it dark all over. There we go. Okay, I'm going to use these same markers for the acorns. So yeah, I'm going to do the top of the acorns in these same colours. Let me just double check which is which again. Yeah, so the E060 is the darkest marker. It's kind of hard to tell just by looking at the tops of the markers because, like I say, they can be a bit deceiving with the Ohuhus. I think that would be my only complaint with the Ohuhu markers, is that the tip colour is not necessarily the same as the actual marker colour, if that makes sense. I'm hoping the lighting is okay. It's looking quite dark on there. I'm hoping that you can see okay. I'll just do all of these little acorns the same. It's quite an autumnal page really, with all these acorns and leaves. Probably it's slightly the wrong time of year for it, but that's okay. Not every page has to be a seasonal page, is that? Okay, so for the main part of the acorns, I'm going to go with, what colour should I go with? I'll go with the YR8 and the YR7. Goodness, is that gone really dark? Let me just see if I can adjust this. Okay, hopefully that's all right and you can see okay. It looks a bit dark on screen, but I'm hoping it's coming up all right. Okay, so I've got the wrong ends of these ones. Yeah, so YR8 and YR7, I know they're kind of the wrong. I would probably normally go for more of a brown colour for my acorns, but I don't really want to bring another colour in, so I'm just going to use these ones. And I might as well do all of them at once. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Like I say, quick and easy. It's such a cute page. Okay, I'm just going to go back in with that darker one and just emphasize those shadows a little bit more. Just to make it pop a little bit more. Okay, acorns done. Let's do some leaves. So I'm going to, oh, I know what I forgot. Well, I remember, just with that CG200, the lightest grey, just going to add a little bit around my speech bubble here. Again, I don't want to make it look grey. I just wanted to add a little bit to make the white pop a little bit more. Okay, so for my leaves, what colour can we do those? We might go on with some of these lighter markers again. Maybe bring in, what have we got? Let's try and see how this goes. So we've got YR107, E090 and YR110. And I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of a combination here of these. See how it looks. Might look a bit too pale, I don't know. I might just use those two colours perhaps. Could have brought a yellow, like a yellowy shade in. Maybe I can use some of the red. I don't think I want to pull the red. I might use the red for the smaller leaves maybe. I think this will work okay. So I'm just using the YR107 and the YR110. I'm trying not to muddy the colours too much with that black streaking that I get from those black lines. I think that looks okay. You could definitely go more colourful with this and go for like olivey greens and yellows would look kind of cool. I'm just kind of using the markers that I already have out on my desk, and I think that's going to work okay. And then, like I say, I might use the reds for a bit of a splash of colour on that border with those smaller leaves. Okay, so that's those ones done. Let's grab the reds. So R6 and R160, and let's just add a little bit of red around here. Just to brighten it up a little bit more. I think that looks okay. Not my favourite page I've done so far. I think my favourite is the caterpillar that kind of reminded me of Alice in Wonderland's caterpillar. I thought he was really, really cute. He's like time for tea or something like that. A cup of hot tea. I can't remember what it was called now, but it was something to do with tea. I believe it was anyway. Now I'm having doubts. But yeah, I think that's been my favourite one so far. I really enjoyed colouring that one. I don't know why. I enjoy colouring them all, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think he's been my favourite so far. But I think this one is looking not too bad. It's coming together. Okay, I like it a little bit more with that pop of red in the border. I think that kind of needed a bit of a brighter colour in there. Okay, so that's pretty much the colouring done. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to add some white gel pen detail. So I have my Sakura Jelly Roll in the size 08. And let's just go around and add some highlight details to everything. So, like I say, always with these, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with this highlighting business. I just kind of go in and hope for the best, and sometimes it works out good, and other times I think it doesn't look quite so hot, but it's all good. It just adds a pop of something else to the page. Definitely a step you could leave off if you wanted to. You don't need to add this. It's just a kind of finishing touch, if you like. Okay, let's go a little bit on my bird. And sometimes it doesn't show up great on everything, but that's okay as well. And a little bit to the heart here. You're not really going to see it a great deal on the mouse because he's a bit pale coloured. And a little bit to the butterfly. And everywhere I've kind of gone out of the lines with my marker, I'm just going to use that white to colour it up or cover it up rather, because it will cover the marker quite nicely, and then nobody knows that you had to go outside the lines. It's a good little tip. Okay, with the cat himself, I'm going to add a little bit down his tail here. And when I'm adding it to bits like this, I just kind of go over all of the lines. I don't try and, go around them. You want it to look like a kind of shine mark. So it needs to kind of go across the lines, if that makes sense. I'm going to add some little dots to his cheeks, just so they don't look quite so weird with that kind of splodge that they've got going on at the moment. Add a little bit to his nose. Yeah, I probably should have done a darker color for his cheeks, but that's okay. If you guys are doing this at home, you can do that yourself. Okay, the only other thing I'm going to do is add some glossy accents to the eyes, if I can get it working without being all clogged up. Normally it's clogged up. So I'm going to preempt it by getting my pen out and hoping that I can unclog it. I don't know why it's always clogged. I do try and like clear it out after every use, but I don't know. Let's see, can I get it working? I think I'm going to have to invest in a new glossy accent soon, because this just does not want to, this does not like me anymore. I don't know if I can get the top off and kind of like clear it out from the other side maybe. It's like well and truly stuck in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's working. Here we go, some to the bird's eyes, some to the cat's eyes. And then I think I'm going to call my page done. So that's page 18 of our 4-book colour along. It's going quickly. And there we go. I'm calling that finished. So that one is called Love at First Sight. I think it's really, really cute. I'll let those glossy accents dry and it will be all set to go. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I had fun colouring it, and I hope to see you again soon in the next video. As always, please do give this one a thumbs up. Please leave a comment and let me know if you're joining me with this colour along. Let me know which page has been your favourite so far, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.